Hello, my name is Becky Lu, and today I'll be analyzing the extent to which 1968 was a profound turning point in regard to the Vietnam War and civil rights. In 1968, the Tet Offensive played a major role in strengthening the Black civil rights movement. Many of the soldiers that were going over to Vietnam were blacks, and when the Tet Offensive was televised, many Americans saw the numerous troops that were dying due to this lost cause. White Americans began to lose trust in their government due to the fact that they saw so many of their troops dying and that they were losing the war, and the government kept saying winning was within reach. And this was due to the fact that the National Security Advisor kept saying, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. This caused a turning point for the younger generation, and the baby boomer generation created a counterculture that did anything and everything that went against their parents' generations and what their parents' generations believed in. And they held protests against the Vietnam War. And these protests sometimes led to the National Guard shooting these young protesters, such as in the Kent State shooting. This also created a big turning point for blacks because they were sending their people to go die in this war that had nothing to do with them, but they were still not getting receiving the respect that they deserved, and also not getting the same amount of rights as white Americans were. And this caused them to have a surge of to surge in fighting for their own rights, and that was led by Martin Luther King Jr. that believed in peacefully protesting. But this changed after Martin Luther King was assassinated. Blacks began to become more violent because they saw that their peaceful ways were not working, and this could be seen in the King's Association riots as well as the actions of the Black Panthers. And in the August of 1968, 3 Black Panther members were killed in a gunfight with the police, and in September of 1968, one of the Black Panthers members, Huey Newton, was convicted of murder of a police officer. And this demonstrates how African Americans had become much more violent. And shortly after MLK's assassination, President Johnson signed a Fair Housing Act that prohibited discrimination in the selling and renting of homes. And this was a big turning point for African Americans as well, due to the fact that before they were segregated, and now they were slowly becoming equals. After seeing the Black civil rights movement, women began to have their own liberation movement. And this was due to the fact that they were gaining jobs and because of taking the pill, and they were gaining more independence as well as becoming self-sufficient. And this could, and they were questioning why they weren't having the same amount of rights as their husbands or male colleagues if they were equally contributing to society. And this could be seen when the Women's Liberation organization protested against the Miss America pageants, in Atlantic City in 1968. And these women were tired of living up to society's standards and wanted to do what they wanted when they wanted. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.